Okay, so in this video we're going to put together our little Dahlia invitation / greeting card. If you are having Thanksgiving dinner or if you just want to send somebody a nice little card for the holidays or just because, this card is very versatile and can apply to pretty much any season. We're dressing this up in some fall colors, so of course it's appropriate for a Thanksgiving dinner or just some sort of fall get-together. But again, it would work great as just a little thank you card or whatever. Anyway, as far as the assembly goes, first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this piece with all the little intricate little details and we're going to get that glued onto this piece here, which I've already folded just to kind of get it ready. And there are a lot of little details on this piece here, so you want to go ahead and work the perimeter. Try to be very gentle with the amount of glue that you put on here. You don't want too much because then it's going to squirt out and potentially make a giant mess. So probably try to cup this in your hand if you can so that it doesn't jiggle around too much, and don't worry about trying to get glue on every single little detail here. As long as you get it in enough spots, certain spots will kind of hold down the rest of it for you. But again, take a quick peek at some of the first areas that you put glue down on, and if you see that it's starting to dry, it may be time to apply this and not worry so much about trying to get glue all over in every little spot here. So I think I did a pretty good job of getting it out to as many little places as I can. I'm gonna go ahead and flip this over. Now there's a nice little border going around this entire thing, but it is flush at the top, so you can use the top as kind of a guide initially before you press down. And then there's a little bit of a border on the left and right side as well. So that is pretty much perfect. If you have a little bit of glue that's squirt out anywhere, you can go ahead and just kind of rub that off or just leave it be and it will dry clear as long as you're using the Scotch tacky glue. I don't know about other glues, but I'd imagine that they also probably dry clear. And sometimes I don't like to let it dry because it kind of gives a almost like an eggshell reflection or a sheen to it, but that looks pretty good. Okay, and we do have this little green part here for the leaf. I took and I just inked this really quickly with just a darker green ink. Just took some ink, pressed it down on my little alcohol ink applicator and just brushed the edges nicely and quickly. Just no rhyme or reason, just kind of hitting the edges a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and put just little dots of glue, maybe a few little squiggly lines here on my little leaf part here. That's plenty, and we're going to get that nice and lined up with the leaf on the bottom there and just push that down. Okay, pretty much halfway done with this thing. It's pretty straightforward, nice and quick card. You could even use this for a wedding, it doesn't really matter. Whatever floats your boat. Okay, so we can go ahead and begin assembling this. Now, it's up to you which side you want to use. Now, since the inside here is flat or not textured but smooth, I'm going to use the smooth side on here. It'll also be easier for writing and even stamping. Okay, so that's going to go on like that, and then this piece is going to go on down here. Okay, so we're just gluing just this part. Okay, we're going to be applying glue to just this portion of this piece here. So I'm just leaving that on my table, giving me nice leverage, nice backing, nice support. And you want to go ahead and fold this. Okay, and again, what you can do is kind of line it up like this, make sure that you've got it nice and perfectly aligned, and then just push this over, let it initially set, and then fold it over this way, and just make sure that it's nice and flush up here, and mine is because I aligned it that way. And then just push down until it sets. And you can push down here as well. Okay, so I'm kind of keeping the smooth texture thing going on this side, and on the exterior of the card we'll have the nice texture side. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing here, and we want the texture like this. Okay, that's going to close like that. Very simple card. And this little square, since it's just a square, a nice print and cut would be actually very easy to do. So if you are familiar with the print and cut process with your cutting machine, by all means, run that thing in there so that you can put your little sentiment or event information on there, have your printer do the job, then have your cutting machine cut it out, save you the hassle of having to write things. I know my penmanship isn't the best, and you may not be able to find the perfect stamp, but you can do a lot with like Microsoft Word or Cricut Design Space, whatever. So I'm lining this up, and then I'm going to push it down, and these should pretty much meet perfectly right there. I'm going to push this down, fold this over, and just kind of run your finger along the top here. Make sure that that's nice and flush. Okay, and that's going to close like that, and it's going to open like this. And we've got a beautiful little natural frame going on here for your little sentiment. Okay, that's it for the card, guys. The card is very simple. Okay, didn't really do much inking to it, just the little leaf there. And we can go ahead and put together the little envelope that comes with it. Okay, so we're going to take this piece and glue it to this piece here. So we're going to need to get our glue on the back of this. Just be very subtle with the glue. You don't need a lot. Try to stay within the lines. When it comes to life, I don't recommend that, but when it comes to gluing, stay inside the lines. And if you don't, it's okay. It'll still look nice. Okay, and I got a little bit of glue that's already drying here because it went really thin, so I'm going to redo that little area. And the best way to do this is to kind of take this and just prop it up where the little score marks are until it doesn't really move anymore, and then just flatten it down. And you can work from the inside while it's still not completely set, and then fold it over and just rub out any excess glue. And just push that down, make sure that it gets a good hold. Okay, that looks pretty good. You can push that down the other way. And to close this and actually make the little envelope, what we're going to do is we're going to put glue on the little tab here, and I'm going to work some of that glue right out to the edge so we get a nice, beautiful, clean seam. And I've been getting a lot of comments about my desk. People are wondering how much glue I have under my desk, and I honestly have not looked. I'm just going to wait and see what happens and what kind of organism will grow under my desk here when I wipe my finger off, because it's got all that glue on there. Someone suggested, I think it was Ron, suggested I just get a damp cloth, but my head's spinning with so much stuff as I'm prepping to do this. The last thing I think of is a cloth, but there's your envelope. Pretty straightforward. Okay, just kind of squeeze that glue out, and the card fits in there perfectly. It's 5 by 5, and it's ready to go.